again, owls. We are on to our second video where we're going to learn about 7 natural wonders, one for each continent, which in the last video we talked a little bit about the continents. The continents are very large sections of land at different parts of the world. So the first one that I would like to talk to you guys about is the Amazon Basin, which is located in the continent of South America. So the Amazon Basin is a very, very big tropical rainforest, and it is the largest tropical rainforest in all of the world. It is a natural rainforest, which means that humans did not plant it, humans did not do anything to create it. It has been there and it occurred naturally on its own. So to describe just how big this natural rainforest is, we can talk about it compared to the United States where we live. And if you take all of the United States except for maybe Alaska and Hawaii, that's the size of this tropical rainforest. So our entire country minus Alaska and Hawaii would be the same size as this gigantic rainforest. A little extra info that I can give you about the rainforest is that it is used for many different reasons. So some people will go into the rainforest and they will find food and other things that they can sell to people and other things that people can have. Like examples of that would be they can make rubber using things that are in the rainforest, which we could use to make tires for cars and different things like that. There is also many different fruits that come from this rainforest that you may have even had before in your life. And there are different nuts in this rainforest, specifically Brazil nuts in this rainforest. The last thing that I could find about what people can take from this rainforest is that there are a lot of different things in the rainforest that can be used to make different medicines to help people. So this is the largest tropical rainforest, and there are a lot of incredible animals, there are a lot of incredible different trees and plant life inside this rainforest, and there are also many resources, which means things that humans can use that help everybody out every single day. Alright, my friends, our next natural wonder is located in the continent of North America. This natural wonder is a series of waterfalls. It's 3 different waterfalls. And it is actually located in America, the United States, and it is also in Canada. So it goes from the state of New York in the US, and it goes into the Canadian province of Ontario. So this natural wonder is Niagara Falls State Park, which has over 8 million people visiting it every single year. The reason this many people would want to visit it is because these 3 waterfalls are gigantic. They are huge, huge waterfalls. They each have a name. There is the Horseshoe Falls, which some people call the Canadian Falls because it's on the Canadian side. There is the American Falls, which is located in New York. And there are the Bridal Veil Falls, which is the 3rd and final waterfall that creates this big section called Niagara Falls. So I found so much different information on Niagara Falls, but the fact that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought you would think is the most exciting is that in 1901, it's almost like over 100 years ago, there was a teacher. She was 63 years old, so she was an older woman, and her name was Annie Taylor. She chose to load herself up into a giant barrel with her cat, with her pet cat, and try to survive a trip from the top of the waterfall, falling all the way down to the bottom end of the waterfall. And Annie Taylor survived this fall. The reason that she did it is she wanted to get a lot of money and she wanted to be famous, and she successfully did it. And I will show you a picture of her next to her giant barrel that she used to survive this crazy fall. Our third natural wonder for today is located in the continent of Australia, which is also its own country, but that whole section we'll call the continent of Australia. This natural wonder is called the Great Barrier Reef. And the Great Barrier Reef is known for being a natural wonder because it is the world's largest section in collection of coral, and it is also 900 different islands that are all right next to each other. So the reason that this is especially interesting is because if you've ever seen a piece of coral, coral looks a lot like it's a rock. But coral is actually, even though it's very hard, is a living creature. So they're alive. And the thing about the Great Barrier Reef is that it's this giant collection of islands and different coral reefs that's alive. And so it's all alive, floating in the water near Australia. The way that you can think about how big this the Great Barrier Reef is that if you were in a spaceship and you were looking down from outer space, it is so big that you would be able to see it. And people, there are photos that NASA have taken where you can see the Great Barrier Reef from outer space, and I'll show you guys one of those pictures. So there's 1,500 different kinds of fish that live inside the Great Barrier Reef that swim around that area. And the smallest fish is called the stout infant fish, and the biggest is actually the whale shark, which can grow up to 39 feet long. My owl friends, this is the last continent we're going to be learning about. It is the final continent. The final continent is Antarctica. And the natural wonder is actually just Antarctica itself. There's really nothing there that we could talk about that's more interesting than just the continent of Antarctica. The reason Antarctica is so special is that it is covered in ice, and it's 98% out of 100% is covered in ice. So that is basically every single piece of Antarctica is ice. It is the driest and coldest continent on all of the Earth. And as far as the size goes, even though it is still very, very big, and is a very, very big collection of ice, it is only the 5th biggest of the 7 continents. So it's still a little bit small compared to all of the other areas, but something that you may find interesting is it is the smallest in population. So that means the least amount of people live there. And if you wanted to take a guess as to how many people live there, it would be a very, very, very small number. The number would actually be 0. Nobody lives on Antarctica. It is way too cold to live on Antarctica. Sometimes scientists will go there to do some research, but those trips are not always very long. They kind of have to be short because it's very, very hard to survive in Antarctica. There are some animals that do survive and can live in Antarctica, which is very, very impressive if you think about that. No human beings live on Antarctica, but there are some animals who can manage to do that. So these animals would be penguins and seals and snow petrel, which is a type of bird. So they're able to live down there even with the freezing temperatures. Those are all of the continents and natural wonders that we're going to learn about. This was actually suggested by some of the kids in one of the Zoom meetings that I was in with Robin and Noel, and I think it was Jonathan who had an idea to learn more about the different continents in the world. So if you guys have any more suggestions, you can please email them in, or you could share them with Robin in a Zoom meeting, and we can try to do that topic for the next week or the week after that.